Namaskar. In Vedic literature, the human birth or the human body is considered as the greatest gift a soul can ever receive. But this high ranking of a human body is not due to the reasons that you might think of first, like intelligence, moral grounds, etc. If you think about it, the behavior of human beings in this age, in Kali Yuga, is quite worse than animals. The things that we do to each other, the things that we do to living beings, other living beings, the things that we are doing to the environment, causing mass extinction, ruining our planet. If you think about it that way, animals seem to have a greater moral ground than us and more intelligence because they are not ruining the only home that we have. Anyway, so why is human body, human birth given this high ranking in Vedic literature? It can be explained, it can be understood in the name that is given to the human body. It is called Mukti Dwar. Mukti Dwar means the pathway to Mukti, freedom, moksha. This name signifies the Vedic concept that only through a human body can a soul attain Mukti or Nirvana or moksha, which means freedom from the cycle of rebirth after rebirth. Freedom from the cycle of karma and phala. Freedom from suffering. If you want to know more about the concept of mukti, I will link a video above in the links and in the description below. Mukti in Vedic literature is not just considered as the goal of human life, but also the divine purpose of a soul. All the 108 Upanishads, all the sections of Vedanta are known as Moksha Shastra. All of them are dedicated in understanding the concept of mukti and how to attain it. But since a human being gets this great opportunity, he also gets 5 responsibilities or 5 depths known as the Pancharin as soon as he is born. When a child begins his journey of knowledge in Gurukul, during his initiation ceremony called Yagyapavit, he pledges to fulfill the 5 depths that has come upon him due to this human birth in his whole life. These Pancharin are Devarin, Gururin, Pitrarin, Lokarin and Bhutrin. I'll start with my favorite one. I know it's weird that I have a favorite depth, but you'll see why. This is the 5th Rin called the Bhut Rin. For Hindi speakers, this Bhut here does not mean ghosts. Bhut means all living beings except humans. Obviously, human beings have a depth, are indebted by the entire Prakriti, by our planet Earth. So, to get rid of this rin, to complete this responsibility, a human being is supposed to protect the wildlife, all species of animals, the nature and the Mother Earth throughout his life. This is my favorite one because I've been an animal lover since childhood. Much before, since I started reading Vedanta, Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, much before that, I used to love and try to protect animals. And when I got to know this, when I came across this concept, this responsibility, this depth, it made me even more proud of our Sanskriti, of our Sanatan Sanskriti. The next rin is known as the Lok Rin. It is the 4th rin, and this rin, this depth, is towards the members of the society. Every human being is supposed to give back to the society in some way or the other, and it is dependent upon his Prakriti or Varna. And let me be very clear that Varna is not the same as casteism. Varna does not depend upon birth at all. And I've made a video explaining the difference between Varna Vyavastha and casteism in detail. You can find it in the links above. Varna is based on the pravritti or nature and the profession chosen on the basis of this pravritti or nature. For example, a Kshatriya will fulfill his Lok Rin by protecting the members of the society, by being a good administrator and a good leader. A Brahman will fulfill his Lok Rin by being a good teacher, a good scientist, a good doctor. A Brahman will fulfill his Lok Rin by enlightening the members of the society with both materialistic and spiritual knowledge. A Vaishya will fulfill his Lok Rin by giving back to the society a part of his earnings that he has attained from the society. A Shudra will fulfill his Lokrin by serving the members of the society. So in this way, every single Varna, every single person will give back to the society based on how his nature is, based on what he is capable of doing. And this is a responsibility, this is a debt that he has pledged to do during his Yajna. The next rin is Pitra rin. Pitra rin is of your parents and your ancestors. This rin can be fulfilled by serving your parents, by doing seva of your parents, of your ancestors, and doing shraddha of your parents and ancestors. Shraddha is a Vedic ritual performed so that the soul of your parents and ancestors may attain mukti. The next rin is Guru rin. Guru rin is fulfilled by truly understanding and realizing and applying the knowledge that your Guru has given you and passing it on to the next generation. The final rin is called the Dev rin, and it is the depth of the Devtas that is upon us. Some cultures believe that this depth is primarily of Sri Hari Vishnu which is upon us, and it can be fulfilled by walking on the path of Dharma, by walking on the righteous path, overall being a good human being. If you want to know what is the difference between Dharma and Adharma, that knowledge a person gets from the other rin. It is facilitated from the Guru rin. For us living in the modern Kali Yuga, we can understand what Dharma Adharma is and basically the talent of living life by reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Dev rin is also fulfilled by giving dana, by doing punya and doing yajna. There are different types of yajna done for different purposes and in different methods. We will discuss in detail about the concept of yajna and how they are done in some future video. Do subscribe to my channel to get the notification of the same. And also, do consider liking, sharing and subscribing to my channel to support me in my effort to bring back the ancient knowledge and wisdom of Sanskrit texts back to the modern society. Jai Siya Ram.